Holy fuck, I think I look like actual dog shit. But yeah, we have the pretty scenery right now, chat. It's like 2 a.m. in the morning, but I wanna take a little bit of a. I mean, it's not really a discussion video, but more so of a, yeah, I told you so, and yeah, they finally doing the right moves type of video, which sounds dumb to say because then people actually get the idea again that I'm like completely controlling the game and inventing no running and inventing escalation changes and all that sort of shit. But I just wanna release, like, breathe and, like, release a sigh of victory that the game mode escalation with Season 7 will finally be skillful again. So basically, they announced, like, a bunch of stuff recently with, like, Project Boneyard is, like, the third coil main trial, which, thank fuck, we will probably not have to hear the crying anymore, thank fuck. Invasion changes, which seem pretty good, but also they announced escalation changes, which for the most part boils down to that they're gonna kill all the save games, including the 30k run, finally. And most importantly, they're making save scum impossible. The way it's supposedly working is that once you load up a trial and you go like in, you lose your save file. It's on the server, and the only way to get your save file back is to actually beat the trial. Now, obviously, that has some problems with it. I don't need to. I need to. Don't need to tell you that there's problems with that. Whether it be crashing, whether it's shit like snitch shuttle bug, and so on and so forth. Like, obviously, there's gonna be issues. There's gonna be people unjustifiably losing their runs. There's unfortunately nothing we can do. However, it's either that or how escalation has been for unironically over a year now. And I'm gonna be dead ass, and I will regret saying this because with the newest update, I will be grinding a lot of escalation, okay? I will regret saying this because I will probably lose a run like that, but I would, in 100 years after what happened last year, 100 times over take the now risk into account that I could lose my run to like bugs or some dumb shit like that, rather than escalation becoming a joke game mode. There's always this discussion going on like Reddit and like Discord for such a long time now of people, for one, thinking that escalation is like fucking impossible hard, which is fucking insane to me. Like, for one, it's supposed to be hard, and two, it's just not really. Like, if you actually get good at the game, like, most of the trials you play in an average escalation run are filler, and you will have some rough rounds every once in a while, but most of the rounds are like pretty, not pretty free, but like pretty tame to how a high level escalation should look like. Like, in an ideal world, and that is why old Ultra in Season 1 was so good. In an ideal world, escalation should always be constant hard. But like, how escalation right now is in Season 6 is that every once in a while you will have like one or two trials that are kind of hard, but then you will have the spike like go down. And even with that, people are always like, "Oh my god, escalation is so hard. They definitely need to fix these variator combos. They shouldn't exist." Blah blah blah. Which is so fucking baffling to me. Which is so fucking baffling. Like, broken reach and no running, all the shit that people complain about being in escalation all the time. When escalation is supposed to be a game mode that gets harder the further in you go. I've been saying that for years now, but I'm just repeating myself. But escalation is supposed to be hard on like high peak, like high end game. And the reality of that is high peak is supposed to be 20 to 30 range, not 30,000. Like, the whole thing about the community run and like in general how piss easy escalation was for so long really screwed the perception of the community. And I've beaten that dead horse already, but this is more so like me venting about it as well, because we've been dealing with this shit for over a year now. Because as much as escalation can be fun, especially if you go ahead and do something like Bibzuda does with his no loadout thing, Escalation just really lost its meaning until like now, where it finally becomes skill based again. Because you can always save scum. Like when you're about to die, you can just quit out and retry again, which is not in the spirit of a fucking roguelike mode. And then you had this other shit like variator rerolls and whatever else. Like the save system, as good of a thing it was, in retrospect, caused so much damage to the perception of Escalation. But not only that, but also the ultra changes in season 2. Again, chances are, especially if you're a newer player, you don't even know what the hell I'm talking about when I talk about season 1 old ultra versus like ultra now. But basically in season 1, old ultra used to be 10 different variators at one. It was like Psychosurgery, Enraged, Deadly Prime Asset, Bleeding, Limited Inventory 2, Wake Extended Cooldown, Limited Hiding Spots 2, and so on and so forth. The variator list stacked on and on and on. And that was it every single round, which makes perfect sense. Like it was starting at like 35. It was like every single round with like alongside like a boss variator, and that was like the peak of escalation, because guess what? At high escalation level, it should feel hard, and Old Ultra guaranteed that. However, with like season 2, they hardcore nerfed Ultra, which led, slowly but surely, to the notion that escalation is a farming mode instead of being hard, which it is supposed to be originally. And now finally with season 7, with save scumming being removed, and the leaderboards, and most importantly, just the save games being reset, escalation will finally be skillful again, and I'm so excited for that, especially like on stream, just to grind that out. Whether it's be like the weekly escalations, which is like a new thing, or like the endless escalation. Like, I'm looking forward to that. Now, I don't know if there's gonna be some other changes to escalation in terms of like difficulty scaling. However, I will say one thing. Like, some people would probably say, oh yeah, then now make it so Ultra 2 is like at 50. No. 20 is endgame. 20 to 30 has always been endgame in escalation. That's also like lining up with the death statistics, but that's besides the point. But like, that is endgame. Just because peaks of like hundreds of thousands skewed the perception of what escalation is supposed to be fucking like, doesn't mean that it isn't like that. That the peaks, like the high like ceiling is like a 2030, because that is just endgame escalation. But yeah, little bit of a side tangent here. I just wanted to get a little bit of steam off my list. Finally, I've shut up about escalation for so long, but mostly because I've been mostly playing customs. Because customs, at least I can play and not be judged for. Whereas with escalation, for one, I will always think about one old ultra and two a time without like the 30,000 peak save scum bullshit. But also, if I played escalation, people would always like point the finger at me that I like ruined the game mode by adding shit like no running or whatever the fuck else nonsense. I'm just glad that escalation finally becomes skillful again, which it was a long time coming. And yeah, again, I'm gonna grind it a bunch over like the release stream. Again, short little video to sidewind a little bit, but yeah, to the people on Reddit or like on Discord who like are always molding and always so fucking mad about the game mode becoming harder, which is not necessarily becoming harder, just harder how it used to be. Personally, stay mad. That sounds toxic as fuck, but like some of the conversation can't even be held because some of that is just nonsense talking. I'm sorry, but it just also makes my head hurt. But yeah, thank you so much though for watching the video, even though it was like a rather just poking fun at Toxic Outlet. But yeah, the stream's gonna be like big thing again with like the Twitch drops. Now during Twitch drop season, we're gonna do a bunch of different stuff, obviously escalation, but that's also where the full stealth challenge continues, which by the way, thank you everyone who watched that video already. Link in the description for like main channel, whatever, if you wanna watch it. We will continue the full stealth challenge during the drop season as well, which should be very exciting. But yeah, overall, season 7 can't come soon enough, and thank you so much for watching, and have a good one, everyone. Bye bye.